Hi there, today I'm again answering your questions about mental health, motherhood from a Christian biblical worldview, as well as a professional perspective too. I am a licensed therapist in the state of Florida. Today I am answering the question, can tapping help with anxiety? So I don't utilize this emotional freedom technique when working with clients. However, I took the time to do a little bit of research to understand tapping so that I can share that information with you. Now, the pros of tapping, it's a completely natural, non-invasive sort of intervention, usually used for trauma, if I remember correctly. And the whole concept behind it is you activate different sort of areas in the body that are hot spots for energy, energy systems. So there's a sort of 5-step process involved. Step 1 is you identify the presenting issue or concern, that thing that is stressing you out, or whatever it is that you are anxious about, worried about, scared about, etc. Then the second step is you would rate the intensity of the emotions that you feel in regards to that situation. And then the third step has to do with, if I remember correctly, creating a statement which acknowledges, what the situation is, and then you communicate accepting yourself, not necessarily accepting the situation, but accepting yourself. And then you do, number 4, the sort of tapping sequence, and it's sort of a sequence that they would do with you. So it could be the side of the hand, the top of the head, the eyebrows. You just go through this whole choreographed, I guess, sort of sequence where you tap different parts of your body. And then at the end of that, you would rate the intensity, again, reference that presenting concern, that you're working on processing through the tapping procedure. So personally, I don't use this. I think that sometimes these things can be like placebo, honestly, like you're expecting it to work. So you think you feel better and therefore you do. But at the very core of anxiety is negative thinking. And if you're the kind of person where you do notice that your anxiety, your stress, or possibly anger, fear is characterized, right? Like you notice that you have this habit where it's just like this cycle of thoughts that are just on loop in your head constantly. And you catch yourself like, getting into that negative place. Well, what's going to help most really is learning how to discipline your thoughts, how to identify those negative thinking patterns, and then learning the practical skills on how to correct them. And then what tapping can do, I feel like essentially it's just in many ways moving your body. I have read so many times that anxiety can be really, for many people, just linked to a lack of movement and a lack of physical activity. So just getting your body moving is a great thing and a great goal to have, to just move every day, whether it's going for a 5-minute walk outside and getting some fresh air and sunshine, or even just walking around your own house for 5 minutes and, kind of multitasking. That's what's worked for me, right? Is okay, well, if I want to move more and I want to move around for 5 minutes, might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone and alleviate some of the stress. And, I can tidy my office for 5 minutes and set the timer and just get that done and take a break or decide to keep going, So I think physical activity is a huge thing that we tend to overlook when it comes to anxiety. But anyway, I'm not an expert on tapping, but I am more so an expert on the mental aspect of anxiety. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure you follow along, leave your questions in the comments, and I'll get to it in a video super soon.